Assalamualaikum and hi everyone. Today our group will be presenting our project which is Tender Pembangunan Sistem E-Tribunal bagi Anti-Gangguan Seksual Sistem E-Tax. Let's begin by introducing our organization, Assistat, founded in 2021 and strategically located in Cyberjaya, Malaysia. Assistat is an enterprise IT consulting and custom software development partner. We specialize in engineering robust cybersecurity solution and also digital ecosystem that help both public institution and business to improve their operational efficiency, to strengthen data protection and build resilient digital infrastructure. Moving to the next slide is our vision, mission, and also objective. Every system we architect is driven by a clear strategic direction. Our vision is to be Malaysia's leading provider of secure, ethical, and innovative digital ecosystem that empower public institutions to deliver efficient, accessible service. To achieve this, our mission focuses on protecting user data privacy, simplifying complex public sector workflow, and also ensuring complete compliance with Malaysian legal framework. Ultimately, our objective is to digitize and streamline manual processes through user-friendly system and smart dashboard, accelerating Malaysian national digital transformation. Moving on to the next slide, to ensure the success of this initiative, we have structured a highly capable and cross-functional project team. Leading Assistat is our CEO, Muhammad Shafiq Aiman. Directly overseeing our technical delivery is Muhammad Shamim, acting as the project manager. And next is the core execution is driving by our specialized team, including myself and Nur Aimi Alisha as the lead system analyst, and one Amira Kemilia, which going to handle our development as our programmer. And we have Mashita Maisara, the engineering the core infrastructure as our system engineer. And lastly, we have Nur Maria, managing project documentation and administration as our secretary. Now going to transition into section 1.0, which is the initiating phase. This phase marks the official start where we establish the project strategic necessity, financial viability, stakeholder environment, and also the formal governance boundaries. This brings us to our primary initiative, tender for the development of an e-tribunal system for anti-gangguan sexual harassment, formerly known as System E-Tax. So this project represents a vital partnership between our client and sponsor, which is the Ministry of Women, Family, Community and Development, or we known as KPWKM, and Assistat as the technology provider. Our team will steer this implementation across 24 months life cycle, running from July 2024 through to July 2026. For diving into the fine details, let's look at how integration management unifies this entire initiative. So we split our approach into two distinct areas, which is on the left, you can see our pre-initiating phase, which function as our foundational blueprint, and this is where we formulated the business cases, run financial evaluation, we executed option selection using weighted scoring model, and also we established early stakeholder planning. Moving to the right, we enter the actual initiating and integration phase under the Assistat framework, which we covers our formal kick-off meetings, the signing of the project charter, and unified coordination to ensure that scope, cost, and time are fully integrated into one cohesive execution system. Now let's take a closer look at the pre-initiating phase. Based on harga indicative that been proposed is 901,600 ringgit Malaysia, and our financial formulation lock in a development cost baseline of 901,600 ringgit Malaysia, yielding a powerful 41.46 return of ROI, and a short 1.58-year payback window. To ensure this was the most viable path, we built a rigorous weighted scoring model that compared custom cloud development against standard commercial off-the-shelf and also SaaS option, where our custom build score overwhelming 92%. This gave us a green light to proceed with initial stakeholder mapping to align with KPWKM sponsor and technical departments. We're going to proceed with the project business case for system e-tax. So strategically, this application accelerates KPWKM digital roadmap by introducing a secure and also transparent e-tribunal platform that will align with public sector ICT framework like RISA and also PRISA. By opting for a custom cloud build, KPWKM maintain full source code ownership over a system that tailored specifically to a Malaysian legal tribunal steps. So looking at the execution boundaries on the right, we're going to look at the 24-month life cycle is cleanly broke down. So we have two phases, which is phases 1 that will deliver the core public user filing portal, and then cost registration, and lastly the initial reporting. While in the phase 2, we're going to introduce the advanced tribunal management system and also deep admin integration tool. So this all must be delivered under the harga indicative budget, which is the RM 901,600 ringgit Malaysia, which keep the strict adherence to Ministry of Finance vendor certification, and also native to Bahasa Melayu support, and also guaranteed user anonymity. Next, we're going to move on to the business case financial analysis. So to prove the financial sustainability of this project, we have detailed our capital expenditure and a cost benefit realization metrics here. So our initial investment in year 0 is exactly RM 901,600 ringgit Malaysian, that followed by operational and also maintenance costs of RM 900,000 ringgit in year 1 and also year 2. However, when you look at our discounted benefit, the system begins returning massive value, projected at over 918,000 ringgit Malaysia in year 1, and climbing to over 702,000 in year 2. So mathematically, this gives us a highly healthy net present value NPV of RM 262,833 ringgit Malaysia by the end of year 2, providing that the project will generate positive NPV with positive net value within its initial life cycle, achieving exceptional ROI of 41.46%. Those numbers visual. Please look at our payback chart and also weight scoring model. So on the left, our payback chart explicitly illustrate the break-even horizon. You can see that the orange cumulative benefit line steeply crossing the blue cumulative cost line, that's showing that our initial development capital is completely recovered within 1.58 years, pushing the project into a clear profitability during year 2. So on the right, you can see the visual output of our procurement evaluation. So project 1, our custom engineered e-tax system scoring a massive 92% and easily outperforming standard costs of per source frameworks and or SaaS platform, because it's guaranteed absolute compliance, also deep custom tracking, and a total public sector integration. Now, moving on to the stakeholder register and also strategy. Now we're going to identifying who is involved. It's just as critical as the financial. So here we outline our stakeholder register and also strategy, mapping out of total 11 key stakeholders split into 5 external role and 6 internal role. On the left, our key interested parties range from external governance such as the KPWKM Secretary General as our sponsor, the financial approver, and we have the IT Department Authority, the financial and the Tribunal Secretariat as the business owner lah, and the Ministry of Finance, down to our internal assistant leadership and also the delivery team. We help to manage the effectively our power of engagement strategy. On the right, ensure that executive stakeholder are managed closely through monthly steering committees, while the technical authorities are engaged through weekly URS design and also CRISA security workshop. So compliance tracking is managed transparently via the e-perolehan system, while our core team is mobilized through high interest internal sprint to drive back-end and also the database security updates. Focus on the initiating and also integration phase. So as highlighted here, these processes focus on 3 key milestones, which is first is convening the formal project kick-off meeting on July 10, 2024 to align the leadership, and second, we crafting and also securing the project charter to lock in our scope, success parameters and also the team roles. So, and third is we establish unified coordination to seamless integrating our scope, cost and also timeline into a single cohesive 24 months execution systems. Let's take a look at the actual minute from the project kick-off meeting that was held on July 10, 2024 by Google Meets. And as the summarized under the briefing and the mandates on the left, these vital alignment sessions included yang berbahagia Secretary General as our KPWKM executive sponsor, and also the IT Department Authority and the Tribunal Secretariat as our full access and our full access tech team. So the secretariats, the Secretary General issued a clear executive directive, which is because e-tax handle a highly sensitive social filing. It must guarantee ironclad data security, strict user privacy, and it must guarantee flawless nationwide accessibility. So on the right, you can see the strategic decision finalized. The community official endorsed our RM, our 901,600 ringgit Malaysia financial baseline, and the IT department mandates absolute infrastructure and also the firewall alignment with the public sector CRISA security standard, and also the tribunal secretary requested workflow tailoring workshop to mirror the precise tracking step of the Malaysian Anti-Sexual Harassment Act. And finally, all of these groundworks come together in our official project charter. So basically, this is the document that will formally authorize the e-tax project. On the left, it locks in our core purpose and also set the boundaries covering the public portal, internal dashboard, and the automated notification under our strict 24 months timeline and also budget. So on the right are our success metrics, which include a target of over 85% user adoption within the 6 month, and also 0 data leaks. It also gives our project manager the official authority to manage the budget and direct the resources. Within the KPWKM Secretary General sign-off, our project baseline is officially set, wrapping up the initiating phase. So I will now pass the presentation over to my teammate to take you through the planning phase, and that's all. Thank you.
Moving into section 2.0, I will now introduce the planning phase for our system ETACs. According to project management literature, this phase serves as our strategic execution roadmap. By using structured tools like work breakdown structures and clear risk boundaries, we ensure that our objectives are broken down into manageable tasks, keeping us strictly on time and within our budget while proactively preventing scope creep. To execute this smoothly, our project relies heavily on two core disciplines, which are project integration management and project scope management. Integration management allows us to harmonize all of our distinct project activities, processes, and stakeholders towards one unified goal. Meanwhile, scope management explicitly maintains our operational boundaries so we do not suffer from resource strain. To lock down our team dynamic, we established a formal team contract. This contract binds our 5 team members: Muhammad Shafiq Aiman as CEO, Muhammad Shamim as project manager, Nur Aimi Alisha as system analyst, Wan Amira Kamilia as programmer, and last but not least, Mashita Masara as system engineer. Through these agreements, we have committed to absolute honesty in our progress tracking, dedicated participation in brainstorming session, constructive problem solving, and a proactive operational approach to guarantee zero defects in our final delivery. Next, look at our official project scope statement, which was prepared on July 27, 2024. The primary purpose here is to set a foundational benchmark which build a crystal clear understanding of our system boundaries among all stakeholders and establish strict approval threshold for system ETACs. Our project justification is highly critical as we are implementing this platform to provide a digitalized, secure, and highly efficient case management that increases legal accessibility under the Malaysian Act of Anti-Sexual Harassment Act. To achieve this, our system characteristic required a web-based modular platform featuring e-filing, cash tracking, and online payment modules alongside a sophisticated tribunal management system backend. Everything is built using CRISA and PPRSA engineering standards to guarantee total data integrity and zero infraction on government technical checklists. Looking at our user acceptance criteria, we have mandated functional benchmark, data privacy boundaries, and strict VAPT security clearance standards. Specifically, 100% of critical and major bugs must be fully resolved before go live to ensure total platform stability. Finally, our project and product deliverables are clearly listed on the right. This outlines exactly what will be officially handed to the ministry, ranging from our initial URS workshop, reports, WBS, and baseline schedules to lampiran B and C for our technical compliance, system architecture documents, and ultimately the complete functional prototype and user manual. Now let's our statement of work, or SOW. Landau defines as a foundational blueprint for a project execution. For system ETACs, our SOW clearly maps out our project governance and the individual responsibilities for our 5 team members, and this is to keep our work perfectly aligned with KPWKM. Our CEO drives the overall strategic direction and handles high-level milestone sign-off. Project manager role centers on day-to-day operation across all lifecycle stages, schedule tracking, and managing our total budget of 901,600 ringgit, which includes 6% of CBP and accounts for the 0.4% e-perolehan fee deduction. Our system analyst focuses on requirement gathering, generating the URS workshop reports, and mapping the database workflows directly to the Anti-Sexual Harassment Act. Our programmer will handle the heavy lifting of coding, building the functional prototype modules, and executing bug fixes. And then, last but not least, our system engineer is responsible for local server setup, database management, data encryption, and maintaining strict compliance with CRISA and PPRISA security standards. Depending on our SOW parameters and compliance, our document establishes a strict timeline and clear work location. Phase 1 planning took place at our existing offices, while Phase 2 implementation occurs directly at client's office. Our period of performance outlined a tight 120 days development window, excluding weekends, which officially initiated on July 12, 2024. As detailed in the schedule table on the right, our prototype development kicked off immediately on July 12th. We then transitioned into an extensive system testing window running from October 26 to November 24th, 2024, covering functional integration and user acceptance testing. Our final delivery window to the ministry is locked between November 25th and December 27th, 2024. This slide, it covers the various applicable standards and special requirements that governs our project. To ensure absolute alignment with public sector frameworks, we adhere strictly to CRISA for architecture and data integration and PPRISA for project governance and structural compatibility. The database workflows are legally bound to mirror the Malaysian Anti-Sexual Harassment Act, while ISO/IEC 20000 ensures that the continuous availability of our public portal. Financial transparency is maintained via compliance with the Goods and Services Tax Act 2014. For acceptance criteria, we perform through system testing to meet all client requests. If any stakeholders' requirements are missed, we are committed to refining the UI/UX and framework until complete approval is achieved. Most importantly, our special requirements mandate total information security, which means there will be no sensitive case data ever leaves the project boundary. The system must achieve successful VAPT clearance before deployment, and upon final project sign-off, full intellectual property and source code ownership will be transferred cleanly to KPWKM with zero branding or operational infraction. Now, no matter how perfect the plan is, change is bound to happen. That brings us to our formal change request form, logged as order number CR001, submitted on November 10, 2024. During our initial testing phase, we discovered major technical defects in database workflows that needed to accurately reflect the legislative rules of the Anti-Sexual Harassment Act. Respect our 100% bug resolution threshold for critical and major defects. I requested 5-day extension to the system testing timeline. Looking at the project impact assessment, our scope remained completely unchanged. The schedule shifted the testing conclusion from November 24th to November 29th, 2024. Crucially, there was zero impact on our cost baseline, as the extra hours were absorbed by our internal team budget. The risk was low, and the implementation steps involved the programmer patching the TMS backend, the system engineer verifying PRISA database integrity, and the analyst rerunning URS validation tests. This was officially approved by the project manager on November 12, 2024. Finally, we have our minutes of meeting for the project initiation and planning session held on July 27, 2024 via Google Meet. This meeting brought together our full existing team alongside key client stakeholders, including the KPWKM executive sponsor, IT department authority, and the tribunal secretariat. During this session, our CEO formally confirmed the project framework and the 901,600 ringgit budget. Our system analyst briefed the attendees on the transition from manual workflow to modular e-filing and TMS backend system, and this is where the IT authority explicitly requested high concurrency and zero downtime capabilities. We also finalized the inclusion of Lampiran B and C as mandatory deliverable, locked in the strict 120 days development window under CRISA and PPRISA standards, and officially ratified the change request workflow we just reviewed. And the meeting adjourned smoothly at 12:30 p.m., recorded by Secretary Normaria and signed off by the project manager.
Now, let's move on to the project scope management. For the project scope management define all the work required to successfully complete the ETAC project. It ensures that only the necessary tasks are performed, preventing the scope creep while keeping the project within planned schedule, budget, and objective. Next, is work breakdown structure, which is WBS. The work breakdown structure divide a ETAC project into smaller and manageable tasks. This approach improve the project planning, resource allocation, scheduling, and progress tracking, making it easier for the team to complete the project efficiency. Next is phase in work breakdown structure. We have 5 phases, which is initiation phases, planning phases, executing phases, monitoring phases, and closing phases. I will be explaining the phases that have in the work breakdown structure. For the first one is initiation phases. The initiation phases establish the foundation of the project by defining its objective, identifying stakeholder, preparing the project charter, and conducting the kick-off meeting. This activity ensures that everyone understands the project goal, scope, and responsibility before work begins. For example, activity is establish project goal, identify stakeholder, develop the project charter, and conduct the kick-off meeting. For the second one is planning phases. The planning phases focus on preparing a detailed project plan. It includes stakeholder consultation, defining the project scope, creating the work breakdown structure, developing the project schedule and cost baseline, and also identifying potential risks. This phase provides a clear roadmap for the project successful execution. The third one is executing phases. The executing phases is where the ETAC system is developed. User requirements are gathered through survey, followed by the system architecture design, user interface development, module development, and system integration. This activity ensures the system meet the user needs and function effectively. Next is monitoring phases. These phases monitor project performance throughout development, progress report are prepared, change requests are managed, and the project scope are scheduled continuously. Review to ensure the project remain aligned with its objective and the timeline. The last one is closing phases. The closing phases complete the project by preparing the final documentation. It's presenting the complete system to stakeholder, recording lesson learned, and formally closing the project. This ensures all deliverables are completed and the project officially concluded. Next, I will explain about the Gantt chart. The Gantt chart provides a visual timeline of all the project activity, showing the start date, finish date, and duration of each task. It helps the project team monitor the progress, manage deadline, and ensure activities are complete according to the planned schedule. For the network diagram, it illustrates the sequence and dependency of the project activity. It helps the project team to understand the workflow, identify critical tasks, and ensure that activities are completed in the correct order to avoid delays.
Assalamualaikum and hello. My name is Wan Amira Kamilia binti Wan Muhammad Zamri. So now I will explain regarding the cost management plan. Before I go through the project estimate cost, let me explain about our cost management approach. For this project, we use the work breakdown structure or WBS as the main reference for estimating project costs. The WPS breaks the project into smaller activity, making it easier to estimate the cost for each task. We apply the bottom-up estimation method. This means we estimate the cost of every individual activity first. After calculating all activities, we combine them to get the total project cost. During the estimation process, we consider the required resource, estimate working hours, and labor effort for each activity. After the total cost was calculated, the budget was distributed across the 5 project phase, which are initiation, planning, executing, monitoring and controlling and closing. This approach help ensure that enough budget is available for every stage of the project. Now let's move on to the project cost estimates. The client provide a total project budget of 900 1,600 ringgit. However, this budget is divided into 4 implementation areas. Since our group is only responsible for the software and system development component, we only use 60% of the total budget, which is 540,960 ringgit. This estimated budget includes labor costs such as salaries for project teams member and non-labor costs, including software, tools, and other project resources. We also included a 60% contingency reserve. This contingency reserve is extra money prepared for unexpected situations such as changes in project requirement or additional development work. Based on our estimation, the executing phase require the highest budget because this is where most of the software development activities take place, including coding, system integration, and testing. Next is the project cost baseline. A cost baseline is the approved budget plan that will be used throughout the project. For our project, the implementation period is 24 months. The cost baseline shows how much money is expected to be spent during each stage of the project. At the beginning of the project, the spending is relatively low because the team is mainly working on project initiation, planning, and management activities. During the middle of the project, especially in the executing phase, the monthly spending increased significantly because this is when the actual system development work is carried out. Toward the end of the project, the spending decreased again as the project moved into documentation, project acceptance, and closing activities. The cost baseline helps the project manager compare the planned budget with the actual spending, making it easier to identify any cost differences early. The inclusion of the 10% contingency reserve also provide flexibility if unexpected costs occur without affecting the overall approved budget. Now, I will continue with the project human resource management. Human resource management focuses on managing the people involved in the project. The objective is to ensure that the project has the right number of people with the right skills and knowledge to complete the project successfully. By managing the project teams effectively, the organization can improve productivity, maintain good teamwork, and achieve better project outcomes. This slide shows that organization structure for our project team. At the highest level is the Chief Executive Officer or CEO. The CEO provides strategic direction, approve major decisions, and ensure that the project support the organization's goals. Under the CEO is the project manager, who is responsible for planning, coordinating, monitoring project process, assigning tasks, and communication with stakeholders. The system analysis gather user requirement and converts them into detailed system specification that guide the development process. The programmer develop the system based on those requirements, perform testing, and maintain the sources code. The system engineer manages system deployment, integration, security, and overall system performance. Finally, the secretary handles project documentation, prepare minutes meetings, schedules meeting, and support administrative work. Having clearly defined role helps avoid confusion, improve communication, and ensure that every team member understand their responsibilities throughout the project.
So now let's move on to the project communication management. So in our communication plan follows the Project Management Institute or PMI guidelines. It has the three main steps. The first one is planning, where we identify what information each stakeholders needs. The second step is managing communication, where we collect, share, and store project information securely. The lastly is monitoring, where we make sure everyone receives the right information at the right time. We also choose the best communication method based on the type of information. For example, important discussions are held in meetings, while report and updates are shared through email. Now let's move on to the project communication matrix. This communication matrix shows how information is shared with different stakeholders. Our project manager, Muhammad Shami, is responsible for giving monthly updates to the steering committee and preparing milestone report for the KPWKM Secretary General. Our system analyst, Nur Aimi Alisha, works closely with the Tribunal Secretariat by conducting workshops and reviewing the system requirements. Meanwhile, the project team holds weekly meetings and use Jira to monitor tasks and project progress. Now I will explain for escalation procedures level 1 and level 2. When a problem happens, we follow an escalation process to solve it quickly. Level 1 covers small technical issues such as software bugs or coding errors. These problems are handled by the technical team within 24 hours. They record the issues in Jira, investigate the cause, fix the problem, and update the progress. If the issue cannot be solved, it moves to the level 2. At this stage, the project manager reviews the issues, arrange a technical meeting, and update the project schedule if necessary, and works with the team to find a solution. For level 3 and 4, if the issue is still not resolved, it moves to the next level. Level 3 is handled by our CEO, Muhammad Shafi Aiman. This level covers major project delays, budget issues, or important changes to the project scope. The CEO will review the situation and decide on the best solution. If the issue involves government policies or major budget changes, it is escalated to level 4. At this stage, the project sponsor, which is the KPWKM Secretary General, provide the final decision. And so now let's take a look to the stakeholder management strategy table. This table shows how we manage different stakeholders throughout the project. The KPWKM Secretary General has a high level of influence, so they receive regular project updates and are involved in important decisions. The IT department focuses on the technical reviews and the system security. The Tribunal Secretariat participates in reviewing the system requirements and testing the system before it is launched. By communicating with each stakeholder according to their role, we can ensure the project runs. Now let's move on to the media choice table. We use different communication methods depending on the situation. Face-to-face meetings are used for confidential discussion because they are more secure and allow quick feedback. Phone calls are suitable for urgent matters that require immediate action. Emails are used for reports, project documents, and weekly updates because they provide a clear record that everyone can refer to later. Choosing the right communication method helps improve understanding and reduce misunderstanding. Now let's take a look for monthly, weekly progress report. This slide shows one of our weekly progress reports. During this reporting period, our team completed the system requirement study and received approval from the Tribunal Secretariat. We also reviewed the system design and identified possible technical issues before development started. Finding these issues early helped reduce project risk, avoid delays, and keep the project within the approved budget. Now let's move on to milestone schedule. This timeline shows the major milestone of our project. The project started with the project charter approval in August 2024. After that, we completed the planning phase and approved the project baseline in December 2024. In February 2025, we completed the system requirement study. System development and integrations were completed in August 2025. Finally, the project was successfully handed over in December 2025 after testing and documentation were complete. And now for the project kick-off meeting. This slide shows the minute of our project kick-off meeting. During this meeting, the team discussed the project objectives, timeline, budget, communication plan, and each member's responsibilities. Action items were assigned to the team to make sure everyone understood their tasks before the project started. This meeting helped build a clear direction and strong teamwork for the rest of the project.
Next, I will present about the project risk management. Project risk management is the process of identifying, assessing, and controlling potential risks that may affect the success of the ETEC project. It helps the project team reduce uncertainty, minimize negative impact, and ensure the project is complete within the planned scope, budget, and schedule. Since the system handles sensitive legal information, effective risk management is essential to protect data security and maintain the project quality. Why is the risk management important? It protects the sensitive data and user information. It identifies potential risks before they become major problem. It reduces the impact of the project delay and unexpected costs. It supports a better decision making throughout the project. And the last one is increase the likelihood of delivering the project successfully. Next, let's move on to the list of prioritized tasks, which is have 8 potential risks: requirement change, safety rule, system integration failure, project delay, staff turnover or leaving, cyber security threat, budget overrun, and the last one is bad weather. Next, I will explain about the risk register. The risk register is the document used to record, monitor, and manage all the potential risks that may affect the e-tax project. It's provide detailed information about each identified risk, including its description, category, root cause, trigger, response strategy, assigned risk, probability, impact, and current status. By documenting this information, the project team can monitor the risk continuously, implement appropriate mitigation strategy, and respond quickly when risks occur. The risk register also help the project team prioritize risks based on their probability and impact. For example, requirement change is ranked as the highest priority risk because changes in project requirement can significantly affect the project scope, schedule, and budget. Other important risks, such as the system integration failure, project delay, and cybersecurity threat, are managed through regular monitoring, testing, and preventive action to minimize their impact on the project. Overall, the risk register support effective decision making and increase the likelihood of completing the project successfully.
Now let's move on to the closing phase. I will explain the final phase of our project, which is project closure. This phase makes sure the project is completed properly before it officially ends. There are four main parts. First is deliverable verification, where we check that all project work has been completed correctly before handing it over to the client. Second is liability mitigation, which ensures all legal and contract responsibilities have been completed. The third is knowledge transfer, where we save important project documents and lessons learned for future projects. And finally, we refer to the project management research that shows a proper project closure helps improve project quality and supports future success. This also shows that our project was complete responsibly within the approved budget of 901,600 ringgit. Next is procurement closure and statement of work acceptance. This slide explains how we close all procurement activities. First, we check that all work completed by suppliers matches the contract and the statement of work or SOW. Next, we make sure all payments have been completed and no financial issues remain. If there are any disagreements, we try to solve them through the discussion. If needed, mediation or arbitration can be used. Finally, we review the procurement process, record the lesson learned, and store all important documents for future reference. Next is customer acceptance and sign-off form. This slide shows our customer acceptance and project completion form. After the project is completed, the client reviews the system. If they are satisfied, they sign this form to officially accept the project. The form also allows the client to give comments and suggestions. Their feedback helps us improve our work and deliver better project in the future. Next is success metrics, the triple constraints. To measure the success of our project, we use the three project management constraints, which is scope, time, and cost. For scope, we successfully completed all the required ETAC features. For the time, we finished the project within the planned 24-month schedule. And for cost, we stay within the approved budget of 901,600 ringgit with no extra spending. These results show that the project was completely successful. Next is technical and functional success criteria. Besides project management, we also check the quality of the system. First, the system follows the requirement of the Anti-Sexual Harassment Act. Second, we protect user information using strong security features such as encryption and user access control. The third, users found the system easy to use during user acceptance testing. And lastly, the system performed well during testing and was able to run smoothly without major technical problems. Next slide is what went right versus what went wrong. This slide shows what went well and what challenges we faced. One of our biggest success was user acceptance testing. By testing the system early with tribunal staff, we found and fixed many issues before the system was launched. One challenge was connecting our system with external SMS and email services. Some of these systems had limited documentation, so our team needed extra time to complete the integration. Next is future recommendations and lesson learned. From this project, we learned several important lessons. First, we should check the third-party system and APIs earlier during the planning stage. Second, we should include extra time in the project schedule to handle unexpected technical problems. And finally, we should continue communicating regularly with stakeholders. This helps avoid misunderstandings, reduce project risk, and keep the project on the track. Next is technical and functional success criteria. Besides project management, we also check the quality of the system. First, the system follows the requirement of the Anti-Sexual Harassment Act. Second, we protect user information using strong security features such as encryption and user access control. The third, users found the system easy to use during user acceptance testing. And lastly, the system performed well during testing and was able to run smoothly without major technical problems.